Welcome to Recipe Club, where we debate the best way to cook the food you want to eat. My name is Chris Ying. Here in the clubhouse with me today are three friends lying on a gingham blanket, staring up at the clouds, finding shapes, enjoying one another's company. Or not. First, a chef who has no love for cooking with cottage cheese, Marc Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning to make sure my mayonnaise was at perfect picnic temperature.
That's something you do every day anyway. Next, she likes her chicken from a can and her devils on horseback. Mandy Roberts. Welcome back, Mandy.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
And finally, a newcomer to the club. He left the confines of a 3 Michelin star chef life to cook from his heart out of a former train caboose on Highway 1. He is a father, a chef, a surfer, and author of the new cookbook, Coastal. Scott Clark is in the house.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm here to win. This is not fun for me.
I've brought these three experts here to debate the best way to cook a dish that is so delicious you're willing to eat it off the ground. It is the picnic episode. Before we get any further into this, we have to unpack our baskets a little and start to set the proverbial table. This time, like I said, it is on the ground. A picnic has a lot of very specific visual connotations. It is the checkered gingham blanket, it is the basket, it's a little hippie.
Kitschy?
Yeah, it's I'm looking at you, Mandy, because it's like
I'm wearing overalls.
Well, you're wearing overalls, and if there's anybody on this panel that has maybe worn a flower crown in their lives, I feel like it might be you.
How dare you?
Have you?
I have never.
Never. Never,
I
ever.
promise on my life that is not my brand. I've seen it done. I think that all my friends would back me up.
Never.
In my recollection, I have never worn a flower crown. Not even to Coachella.
Never danced around a maypole?
Never done that.
Okay.
No.
I don't know Mandy at all.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he tries to put me in a box every time he sees me, and I just break free.
Today I'm putting you in a basket.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure that anybody has really ever done the picnic basket blanket that has specific designs on it, the whole picture perfect picnic. I don't think I have. Most recently, a couple weeks ago, we bought a dozen Imperial rolls from Golden Deli and we ate them in a park, and I was like, this is a picnic, right?
Pretty much.
That's a picnic.
Pretty much.
I have some research here, if anybody would like to hear.
Love research.
Let it rip.
The earliest picnics, this is from the Oxford Companion of Food, in England were medieval hunting feasts. Foods consumed would have been pastries, hams, baked meats. At the end of the hunt, they would kill and dismember the deer and cook it, thus providing excuse for this picnic. Scott, I feel like you may have done this exact thing that I'm describing.
I have done that. And now that I'm thinking about it, my dish does not fit the definition of a traditional picnic in any way whatsoever. I have certainly had medieval dismemberments on the ground.
Yeah.
Never once did I bring
But you've
cookie.
eaten. You've never brought a cookie. Listen, never bring a cookie to a dismemberment. But you espouse this idea of eating outdoors. You know, this is central to a lot of the stuff you talk about in the book. Dad's Luncheonette is a roadside right overlooking the Pacific Ocean. People eat outside. What is specifically Half Moon Bay? Excuse me, there it is.
Shout out.
What is the specific appeal, do you think, of eating outside?
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, for me it is. Yeah. I grew up as like a latchkey kid running around, being outside, doing that stuff. So there was never any very little indoor dining in my home because I was running away all the time and, dismembering things. Frogs, squirrels, deers, stuff like that. I do think it's just like being in the elements, exposing yourself to the world around you, reminding yourself that you're a human being in a real, complex, beautiful world is where you should do most of your thinking and eating. Because going inside is nice and fun sometimes, right? But I don't need anyone to crumb my table. And, I just want to be in the elements.
You're of the opinion that most eating should be done outdoors.
I'm of the opinion that most things should be done outdoors.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Most living.
Marc Johnson.
Most living.
Yeah.
Where are you on that?
I feel when you think about eating outdoors, most of the time it's going to happen in summertime, nicer weather. It's usually a joyous occasion. You're with other people that you like to be around. So yeah, outdoor eating is great. I just don't really prescribe to the getting the picnic basket and a blanket and doing all this fancy stuff. I just like throw together some stuff and eat it, cheese, cured meat, stuff like that. I just don't usually make a big deal out of it.
Well, you bring up an interesting point. What is the perfect picnic weather condition? Is it actually hot and sunny, or is it 68 and overcast? What is the ideal sitting outside and eating temperature?
72, partly cloudy, so that it like goes in and out of sunshine to keep you warm, but shade to not burn your skin off. Also, you're talking about no pretense, but I look over at your dish and I feel like it's not aligned.
Wow.
Just
Knives
gonna
out
throw it
already.
there.
Well, last 3 years I lived in London, so I was imagining going to Regency Park, getting some canned G&Ts, sitting and enjoying one of the 6 sunny days in London.
The 6, yes.
Yeah.
Taking your horse and buggy out to the park.
Inspiration for my dish,
I'm not throwing shade. I'm just mentioning.
How dare you?
One would also argue it's always 72 and partly cloudy inside. I'm just saying, it's pretty nice in here as well. I wanted to bring up another visual representation of picnic, and this might be a little scary to some people, but the other big thing you think about when you think about picnics is pests, ants coming to get your picnic. And I wanted to ask my two chef boys here.
Chef boy.
I grew up in Southern California. Ants were a part of life indoors, outdoors. They're just all over the place. My wife is so sketched out by ants. For you two chefs, do ants sketch you out to the same degree as rats and roaches? Are ants bothersome to you?
No.
Never.
It's just like they're like you find where they come, you can get rid of that highway of ants, and then you move on.
You kill the ants?
No, it's just like you like block it up, or you like get them going a
It's
different
the
way.
ant dismemberment.
What do you block them up with? You put down spray.
Kill them?
What do you do with ants?
I have ants. I live in an old little casita by the beach. There are ants everywhere in my home, and they get in my honey and my maple syrup. I eat them sometimes when they're in there by accident all the time.
Fine.
It seems like you also kill ants.
Yeah,
So they die on their own doing what they love,
Yes.
and then I consume them.
It's a noble way to go.
Yeah,
Drowning
Ants,
in
not so
honey.
much.
cohabitating
With all types of
killing-
pests. Yeah.
So they don't even get on the radar in terms of rats and roaches, which I agree with.
No.
No way.
Let's get out of the rodent world and return to the world of the edible. What makes a good picnic recipe or a good picnic dish? I think that for starters, obviously we are schlepping this out into the world and taking it somewhere, right? So transportability is something. Shareability is something. Scott, you said most food should be consumed outdoors, but are there things that you wouldn't say, that's not really an outdoor food. That's not really a picnic food.
I think that anything can be a picnic food with the proper container.
Oh.
I once lugged 6 quarts of duck pho into the woods and ate it in a tent in the rain. And it was one of the most incredible dining experiences I've ever had in my entire life. So given the container, anything is a picnic food. You just have to get out of your own head.
Technically, you were inside.
In a tent?
I'm just saying. Are we all subscribing to Scott's cult of the outdoors here? You guys all agree that any food can be an outdoor food with the right container?
I cannot bring duck pho. Like I would not feel comfortable showing up to the outdoors with that dish, but I am of the mind that everything could be enjoyed outside.
Okay.
I see how the duck pho is. It's just not something I would be like, oh yeah, I'm going to the outdoors. I'm gonna bring it. It's not on the top of my list. But I also one time went to the beach and my brother-in-law is like, oh, I'm going to make nachos at the beach. And I was like, oh, that just sounds like a terrible idea. But he had a little canister, nacho cheese, little bowl, and he was pouring the nacho cheese over with the pickled chilies. And I was like,
As long as you have the right vessel.
it worked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw the line at nachos at the beach.
Yeah.
Why?
Sound crazy.
Don't.
I think that there's no way I don't eat so much sand. So much sand. Because my hands, it's not because the nachos are going to be sandy, but my hands are going to be sandy. Be sandy nachos. No? You guys.
Appetizer. It's like a amuse-bouche, the first thing you do before you get in the sand.
God, I mean, I'm feeling a little worried about how enthusiastic all three of these people are for the outdoors, but I guess that's the right thing. We should have three people who really believe in eating outside and having a picnic for our picnic episode. So with that, I feel like our blanket is set and we can move into our recipe reports. Recipe report time. There are more than 330 million results when you search for picnic recipes online. Everything from pimento cheese pie to salmon rillettes to chickpea salad sandwiches. I guess duck pho on there as well. Each of my three recipe club members today has cooked a publicly available recipe. They brought the results here. They took it for a spin and showed us what they did. Today's recipes come from Food 52, Feel Good Foodie, and Scott Clark's new book, Coastal.
It really worked out well.
I cooked my own recipe.
What a coincidence.
Publicly available.
Mark, Mandy, and Scott brought the results of their investigations. As I said, we sat down, we had a nice little picnic right in front of this desk just a few moments ago. We're going to talk about each one of these recipes one at a time. I'm going to start with none other than Marc Johnson. God save the Queen, buddy. You made Coronation Chicken.
Coronation Chicken Salad. Just want to celebrate the monarchy.
You spent, so among the many, many, many places you have lived and worked and raised your family, you spent a good amount of time in the UK.
3 years.
3 years.
And you see Coronation Chicken Salad sandwiches at every Pret, every sandwich place in the UK. Never made it.
Can you... I can't believe you just shorthanded Pret. That's slightly bad. For those who don't know, what is Coronation Chicken?
It's basically a chicken salad, like a curried chicken salad with almonds and raisins.
And why is it called Coronation Chicken?
Because when Queen Elizabeth II, I hope that's right.
It's only been two.
They asked the Cordon Bleu in London to make a special dish for it, and this is what they came up with because nothing says "God save the Queen" like a curry chicken salad.
So it is a little. It's very British in the sense that it is.
But it has raisins.
Sultanas, golden raisins. It has nominally Indian flavors, right?
Yeah.
That's a super British thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I mean, this recipe says curry paste. What does that mean, curry paste? That's such a generic kind of word. Curry paste, but it does sound like British Indian food.
Yes. I don't want to poop and scoop on British Indian food though, by the way, because Indian food in the UK is incredible.
Yeah.
It blows everything that we have out of the water. Really, really, really delicious. This has the flavor of curry powder. It's sultanas. It's sweet. Did you eat this when you were in England?
I had several sandwiches for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like
At
on the
every
go.
Pret he went to.
Every Pret he went to. Every morning Pret.
I went to Pret twice.
What is Pret?
Pret a manger.
What is it? It's
It's like
whoa,
it's basically
you did
Le Pen.
butcher
sandwiches
that.
and salads on the go.
butcher that.
Yes, I get it.
What is the? Did you like it and that's why you chose this recipe?
No, I was trying to think about picnics and thinking about various things. And I was like, I haven't gone on a picnic since I've been back in LA. So then I was like, oh, the most recent picnic was probably in the UK. And then when I was thinking about different dishes, it's like, oh, Coronation Chicken Salad.
Okay. How did you? So talk us through the process.
You poach the chicken, pretty straightforward, cube it, and then you make a dressing of Greek yogurt, mayonnaise, spicy mango chutney, curry paste, and then you add celery, sultanas, and almonds.
Mango chutney and curry paste from the container.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of
is
curry
your
paste?
mayonnaise of choice?
This one I use Hellman's, but usually I didn't have enough Dukes to use. Okay. I do like Dukes.
And curry paste.
Curry paste, I just found one at Ralph's.
Just the Ralph's curry paste. Okay. And then talk to us about
So you
this.
think I'm going to make my own curry paste?
I think when I think of curry paste, I think of Thai food. I think of.
Yeah. So that was the hard part, is kind of finding what curry paste would be, but there is just like generic. I think I forgot the name of the brand. It's like Fattoush. It's like curry paste. That's all it says, curry paste. There's, tandoori paste and all these things, but there's one labeled curry paste. And it just has aromatics. That's it.
I had a few questions about the recipe itself. This is a Food 52 recipe. First of all, does the result you have here, how closely did you follow the recipe?
Pretty closely. I mean, I ended up using a lot more almonds, celery, everything. I just had to amp it up just a little bit more. There wasn't enough of everything in there. For me, salads are very textural. So you want to have that chewiness from the raisins, the crunchiness from the almonds and the celery. I put in more mango chutney because it gave a sweetness and a spiciness. So everything I just kind of amped up, but it was pretty much in the framework of the recipe.
As our resident Pret expert here, Marc, I'll just ask you this. Is this a good Coronation Chicken Salad?
I enjoy it. Yes. I enjoy it. It's not something that I'm like, ooh, I need Coronation Chicken Salad.
But your version is a good version. Yeah. The one that we're eating here today. And talk to us about the setup here. Mandy drew some attention to your fancy dishware.
At a charity shop, as it is called in the UK.
Me because, is it like a thrift shop?
What is it?
Thrift shop is called a charity shop because they're all for charities.
Yeah.
In the UK. I found this dish, and it is for the coronation of the Queen in 1952, 53, something like that. And I had eyed it for a while, and I bought it before we left the UK. Little did I know it would be used for a vessel to put coronation.
And this little toast caddy is a toast caddy. This thing is designed to hold 4 or 6 little toasties for your coronation chicken.
A British friend of mine, before we left the UK, as a present, gave us this vintage toast caddy.
Nothing says I lived in the UK for 3 years like that toast caddy. It's cute.
The chicken is poached.
Yeah.
Give us your chefly opinion here. I feel like a lot of home cooks are not poaching anything. Poaching, overrated or underrated?
Agreed.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't poach a lot of things unless it's going to make soup. I will say, last night when I poached the chicken, in the soup, I added like shiradashi, chicken powder, better than bouillon, all in the poaching liquid. And after I poached the chicken, I had like 3 mugfuls of chicken broth in a tent by myself.
From your backyard.
Shiradashi is cheating. Scott, what do you think?
Shiradashi is cheating.
Should more people be poaching?
Should more people be poaching? Absolutely.
Just people don't do. They just assume
boil stuff. Boil stuff and steam stuff. I think that everyone should be doing it.
Do you think the name it needs to be rebranded? It's like lightly boil instead of poach.
Lightly boil is worse than poach.
Yeah. Well, I think that gives people the wrong idea because then they just then it's like
then they're simmering something.
It's going. Yeah. I think more poaching, more steaming. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did end up saving the broth because that was my other question. I hate these recipes. I don't hate these recipes. I do. That say save the liquid for another use. Maybe you are going to drink your cupfuls of it, but I feel it's unfair to a lot of home cooks who are like, okay, I saved 4 quarts of chicken water. What do you want me to do with this now?
It's for anything. I use it for everything.
Yeah, you can use it for so many things like rice.
Throw it in vegetables when I'm sauteing, like at the end to glaze it. You have to freeze it all, so it's always ready to go for stuff. It's not like you have 4 quarts and you can just be sitting there quick style throwing back shots. But I always have chicken stock.
Chicken stock. I'm just saying.
What's the difference?
I did have a friend who used to steam vegetables, and she would just drink the weird steaming water for weeks after. It was gnarly.
No,
it was very aggressive. Yeah, just would keep it in the fridge and drink it.
Did she have a mother?
It was a master stock. She just kept adding more nasty vegetable water to. Let's get into some of the feedback. I'm going to start here with Scott. Scott, you gave us 3 positives about this Coronation Chicken. The first one being that you learned what a coronation is. Education is fun. Great textures. Beautiful servingware. I don't know when it would have come up otherwise. You would have learned about a coronation. So that's very important. Balance of sweet and savory was very good. This is interesting. You thought maybe you need a little more salt.
All right.
Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, I always am pushing the salt towards there, but I don't want to make it too salty. But that's just
more curry, please. And Dad needs more almonds. High level execution. I had a question that's sort of similar to where Scott is taking it. What if you remove the gentle Britishness from this dish? What would you, if Marc Johnson reimagined the Coronation Chicken as, I'm going to make chicken salad and I'm going to make it as aggressively not for the queen as possible, what would that look like?
I think it would be more using like Thai curry, like really spiced it up to like pickled chilies, all sorts of stuff like that.
All right, let's move on to Mandy's feedback on the Coronation Chicken. So well balanced, sweet and savory. You also are a fan of the sweet mixed with the savory here.
I loved it.
Perfect, craveable picnic dish. Great intro to curry, not your average chicken salad. So you're who are you imagining here who's never had, you're imagining somebody at your...
I don't know. If somebody's eating a chicken salad with raisins, then you can bet that they've probably not eaten a lot of curry in their life. And so you just like dab it in there, give them a little taste of what they've been missing.
And not a criticism to be seen from you.
Yeah, I don't have one. I loved it.
I really appreciate, again, I wanted to draw attention to the poaching because we poop and scoop on chicken breast a lot on this show. And I think it's a really nice way to cook chicken breast and make it actually edible. Presentation is outrageous. I can't believe you brought an actual coronation bowl.
Outrageous.
Coronation chicken. I agree with Mandy. It is a great picnic dish. I hate raisins in chicken salad, but that's just personal. I can't deal with them. I think the almonds are really nice. This is the best coronation chicken I've ever had.
And how many have you had?
I don't know, like 3. You know the worst one? Maybe my California guys will back me on this. What the hell is Sonoma chicken salad? Have you ever seen this one with grapes in it?
Oh,
is it like a Waldorf?
And walnuts?
It's like a Waldorf, but with chicken salad.
I've seen it.
It is repugnant.
Yeah, don't do it to me.
I feel like that sounds like a Paradise Bakery move. Am I right?
I
Like
think
walnuts
it's
and
kind of
grapes
everywhere.
and celery.
Anyone who's been to like an Andronico's in the area will have had a Sonoma chicken salad. It is.
Yo, people put apple in it too?
Apple too. It's basically, Mandy said it's a Waldorf salad. They threw a bunch of chicken in, and it should be illegal. All right. So that is the first of our 3 recipe reports. We will be back after this quick break with our final 2. For our second recipe report, I am going to go to returning champion, Mandy Roberts. How does that sound with your name now?
You know, different than I imagined. It makes me feel a lot of pride that I didn't lose again. And just
Did you
collect more?
What does that mean? You didn't think it would fill you with good feelings to win Recipe Club. You thought it was just going to be another day in the park.
Yeah, I wasn't coming into these with the competitive spirit that I feel like is necessary. So
I bring this up because I feel like today you did arrive with quite a bit of competitive spirit here.
I think it's the back-to-back. Yeah, I think it has something to do with being here and knowing that I have to rise to the occasion when I'm actually competing against people who know what they're doing with food.
I want everybody else who's been on an episode with Mandy to hear that line again. She feels differently now that she is surrounded by people who know what they're doing with food as opposed to all those episodes you guys were on.
No, it's not that. It's that I've realized that I need to bring whatever is my A game to the table when I'm actually competing against people that are like Dave put in hours worth to his aguachile, and I am like at 30 minutes max for most of my recipes.
So today you brought your A game in the form of a Lebanese Fattoush salad. This is a classic salad that is not necessarily always Lebanese. It sort of exists throughout the Levant. It's, for anybody who hasn't had it, it is bright, acidic. It's got fried or baked or crunchy pita bread in it, cucumbers, tomatoes, sumac, all of the good stuff. What did you do today? What did you think about this recipe?
The recipe was very easy to follow. The dressing was pretty simple to make. There's pomegranate molasses, I think, in there, which I didn't use. I used a balsamic glaze plus a little brown sugar because I didn't have any pomegranate molasses laying around.
Did you have pomegranates? You could have just...
No, weird. I didn't have those either.
Sure.
I guess I could have done that and just juiced it and really gone for it. Speaking
notes.
of A game, okay. It's a light bite. I've never actually taken a salad to a picnic because I'm usually the chips girl. I just show up with like a lot of bags of really high-end chips.
So all this talk of you can bring a crock pot, you can bring anything to a picnic.
I said people do.
The chip girl is telling me that I can
Have
bring
we learned nothing about me and how I like ease? I am telling you, I like ease. I'm going to show up with chips. That way I don't have anything to clean up. I can just throw
That's
it
fine, but you were like, come on, Cruz, you can bring a crock pot to a picnic. You're the chip
I
girl.
said people do. I've been to picnics where this exists. I didn't say I do.
What chips do you bring?
The Hava chips, which are so good and people don't know about them. So it's always a real nice treat.
The Habit chip, for those who don't know, come from my hometown in Laguna. It is a tortilla chip with soy sauce.
Yes.
It sounds gross, is delicious.
Is delicious.
Wait, what sounds gross about that?
I don't know. Soy sauce tortilla chip sounds a little bad. No,
doesn't.
Into it.
it just sounds good.
I never had it.
Sounds great.
It's great.
Oh, you
Where do I find?
You'll probably
Like
find it at
specialty
any.
stores more than
Whole Foods has
Whole
it
Foods has it.
sometimes. Yeah.
I'm going in.
The problem is that bag is so weird. There's like 6
size.
chips in that bag. What's up with that bag?
a lot of air, not a lot of chips, but it packs a punch. People are always really pleased with those little chips.
Okay. We can talk about something that more than 7 people are aware of now.
Do you
Or we
pick
go back
around
to-
in the Hava chip to look for the ones that
The
are
one-
more soy
oh,
sauce sprayed?
yes,
That's like kind of like finding
The
the,
saturated-
special.
Yeah.
I wanted to move on.
Sassy
Mark still had more to say about this literally niche brand of tortilla chips. This is absolutely ridiculous.
They have cute branding.
So what else? So you substituted balsamic and brown sugar for pomegranate molasses. Did you have sumac?
No, I use lemon zest.
For those who don't know, sumac is the dried, I think, which part of the flour of the,
It's the flour.
it's the flour itself.
But it's a very weird flour. It's like a spongy kind of flour.
It's a big giant cola, like a bud. Yeah.
It is an incredibly delicious thing. If you go to, restaurants that serve Lebanese food or Armenian food, this is what you'll see. It's like kind of a deep red powder that is sprinkled all over your meat and rice. And for sure, the pro move, anytime I've eaten with somebody of the place that I'm eating, whether it's like an Afghan restaurant or Armenian restaurant or whatever, they will instantly ask for more sumac and house it because it's super surprising. It's super sour,
bright.
really, really, really bright. So lemon zest makes sense there. What else did you make of this recipe? How much did you change?
I omitted the radish because I didn't like the idea of the aesthetic of the radish. I felt like
You cut the radish out on looks alone.
I did.
Wow, you popped the radish's balloon.
I'm
You're
so
just
sorry,
like, you're
radishes everywhere. I don't know. There's just a simplicity to the tomato, cucumber, lettuce situation. And then I added a lentil mix to the bottom just for a little surprise, for texture and a little bit more protein and a little bit more salt, honestly. So it was a little bit of feta, lentils, and caramelized onions.
And how did you had 2 forms of pita on here or one?
One form of pita, but I left some whole in the triangles, and then I crunched a couple into pieces to put it into the salad itself.
And what road did you take to crispy crunchiness?
Just regular pita, olive oil, garlic, salt, pepper.
Oven.
Fried in a pan.
Okay.
In one of my loser pans that I got from Recipe Club.
Listen,
What's a loser pan?
You'll find out if it.
First of all, it's not a loser pan. Okay. It is outstanding. It's an outstanding. At first, I had no idea what she was talking about. Then I realized she was besmirching the good name of our official cookware sponsor, Meyer, by referring to their pans as loser pans.
No, I cook with these pans basically daily now because I have collected them, but they're such good, easy cookware.
Let's get into some feedback here from your fellow Recipe Club members. I'm going to start here with Scott. Well-balanced, light and flavorful, very fresh, very bright. There was a surprise at the bottom. These are all the positives. I should say these are all the positives. A surprise at the bottom here was a positive. You wanted the pita a little crispier. You had a bit that was a little chewy.
I want it to hurt when it's fried. You know what I mean? I want it to like explode in my teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want it to puncture your gums.
Does fattoush normally it's like fried pretty hard and then it absorbs a little bit of the soft and gets the little bit of that soft with the crispy?
This was, so I'll skip ahead to one of my criticisms.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy what Marc is talking about, the sort of panzanella effect of super hard, crispy fried crouton tossed in the vinaigrette. It becomes that crispy gone soggy thing that exists between two states. I like that a lot. I see what you're talking about, Scott. You want it to shatter.
Yeah. I really don't like panzanella though, because I don't like the existing in two states. I need something to be the thing or not the thing. You know what I mean? So like when I make a panzanella, I eat it immediately. So it's still like jarringly sharp in the mouth.
Or
I understand that other people like it differently.
You just look at it and you're like, what even are you?
What are you? I need to know what you are. Yeah. Or like a ceviche, I eat it like, it's just like put it in and then eat it immediately.
You don't want it to get a little soggy. You don't want that at all.
No. No, I need to know exactly what it is. Otherwise I'm confused. And then when I'm confused, it's hard for me.
This is a therapy thing. This needs to be addressed a little bit. Just a deep mistrust of something that is trying to be more than one thing.
Looking for honesty in my food?
We're gonna have to. I've noticed it. We're gonna have to spin off this podcast and put you in the armchair.
I do have to say though that as a picnic salad, that makes a lot of sense. And this only had like a few moments to be in the vinaigrette, but like if it were a picnic, you'd go back to it and it would probably have absorbed a bit more of the vinaigrette.
If you don't share Scott's fear of something being two things, you would mix a panzanella fresh at home, you'd put it in the container and just trust it to kind of get a little soggy on your way to the picnic.
I still put some crispy slices on the side so that people could enjoy the pita.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit. So you arrived, it wasn't an imaginary picnic, we had a real picnic. In your tote, you had sort of all the components separated.
Yeah.
And then,
the lentils separate. I tossed the salad with the vinaigrette once I was here, added the pita, and then the pita on top. So yeah, it was like 3 containers. It wasn't a ton of...
I'm not judging. It's cool. You can have as many containers as you want, Mandy.
Something
Wasn't
new.
open a bag of chips
That's
though.
something new. Oh no, it's not so easy. Not so
That's a
simple.
picnic question? Do you go back for seconds during a picnic?
Yeah. You graze.
Really?
I do.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. I think I
You
eat
get
once
one
and then I move
chance.
away.
What?
Where do you go?
Anywhere other than that place. I go to the eating place and then I go to the socializing place.
Oh, not
Or
at
like
once.
then the alone
It's not-
place.
Okay.
No.
So again,
don't
it's
go-
compartmentalized.
You don't go back for a second graze like you're like, oh,
I
that's
make sure I get everything that I want and then I get out of there.
That feels like Thanksgiving to me.
Is that?
It's like one giant plate full of food, and then you're just never going back to
I guess
more.
I thought a picnic was more of a constant We're
Picking.
sitting around and you're constantly eating. Scott, you were
I am stealing everything, all the resources
Again,
that
this goes to your
getting out of there.
Is this a meal or is it a hang? I can't be both things. I need to eat and then be gone. I need to go do my own thing after I've eaten.
It's like those salad bars where you only get one visit and whatever you can get in the bowl is what you get.
Absolutely.
So you're just like, I'm going to get everything and then that's it.
Are there
That's it.
salad bars where
Yes.
you only get one visit? Mm-hmm. Is that Pret?
Nope. Topper's Pizza, Ventura County.
Okay. Shouting out all sorts of obscure nonsense today. You would like a little more surprise, Scott.
More lentils.
More lentils at the bottom.
Surprise.
Cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
into that.
surprised.
You would have liked whole herbs instead of choppy boys. And you'd never had a fattoush salad before.
I had never had one that had lentils, a lentil surprise in the bottom. So I had never had it before.
The lentils idea comes from a fattoush salad in Phoenix, Arizona, from a place called Pita Jungle.
Cool name.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
God damn.
We're getting really obscure.
But their lentil fattoush salad is delicious.
We just keep shouting out places that could never sponsor this podcast.
But they deserve their
Today's episode of
due.
Recipe Club is brought to you by Pita Jungle in
You don't
Phoenix,
know.
Arizona.
You have no idea. You don't know their capacity. What if they were?
Pita Jungle, if you're out there, reach out. Mandy says you have the money to sponsor
I don't
this
know. I don't
podcast.
know you. I just
Mandy
love
Roberts
you. Okay,
personally says that.
okay.
Let's move into Marc's impressions of the fattoush salad. Very well seasoned. A lot of salads are under seasoned. Whose salads are under seasoned?
I find a lot of times when I go to people's houses, they're making salad. People don't put salt. They don't like their vinaigrette's not seasoned, and you taste it, and you're like, I'm just eating watery lettuce with no seasoning. I thought this was well seasoned.
Thank you.
I was surprised when I first saw it. I was like, not going to be seasoned enough, and I was like, pleasantly surprised.
Thanks.
For my, I want you to dig a little deeper into this. When you, as chefs, are making a salad, are you expecting all of the seasoning to come from the dressing? You're seasoning as you go.
When I season salads at home, people are always surprised that I put salt into my
You
salad.
salt, even just the greens, you're salting them, and then you're dressing.
I learned that from a chef, actually, that you have to add salt to the salad itself. Otherwise, it is underseasoned.
It makes some sense when you think about it. That's
Also a spray bottle of dressing on top.
a little spritzy.
Bottle.
Always have a spritz on deck.
I don't have that.
We used to
should.
do umami water, which was MSG and salt with water, spray on like crudité and stuff.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah.
They're secrets. They're showing.
Criticisms, Marc, maybe a crunchier, sturdier salad green. I agreed with this. I feel like this is leaf lettuce I love for wrapping stuff in. It's not my preferred salad green.
Yeah. Also, in a picnic, if it's sitting out, that kind of
It's
lettuce is just
like
going to like.
soggy, sad. Yeah, I get that.
Lentils were nice, but not sure if they were integrated 100%. You thought it was just sort of a surprise that
Yeah.
didn't fit in.
No, it's like a.
I left the integration up to you.
Oh, okay.
So
If you chose not to integrate, that's on you, buddy. I thought the dressing was very nice. I liked the lentils for the reason you said they gave it a little more body. I agreed with Marc that I want, I don't know, romaine something. I really like a fattoush that is less lettuce and more crunchy cucumbers and a bunch of herbs and things like that. I did miss that sumac. I do want like that really sharp, bright, acidic bite in there. But otherwise, my goodness. Coming up next, we have one final recipe report from our newbie, Scott.
Hopefully not new forever.
Hopefully not new forever.
Yeah, I want to come back.
You're old now.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to come back to this.
You're welcome back anytime, provided.
I want to fight strangers.
Before we get into this, Scott, this is your own recipe. I'm gonna give you the floor right now. Plug your book a little bit. Tell us about Coastal.
Yeah.
Tell us about where this recipe appears in the book and sort of how the book is put together.
Well, Coastal is it's my cookbook. It's 130 recipes that span the breadth of coastal California. So from Half Moon Bay, where my restaurant is, all the way down to the Channel Islands. And it's really just a road trip throughout all like my favorite places that I go to on the regular, where I sleep in a van or on a sailboat, or shoot animals, dismember them, and things like that. Have a picnic. Yeah, seaweed foraging, mushroom hunting, things of that nature. It's a beautiful book. Because I was a small part of it, and there was a lot of really talented people that put it together and made it really incredible.
You're currently on a book tour.
I am.
How many times have you had to do this exact description?
Honestly, people don't really ask me how the book came about. Actually, you know what? No, people do ask, but then I defer to one of my lovely co-conspirators, Betsy, who helped me write the book. I put that one on her.
Okay.
And then, so I usually push questions away that like will make me in the least bit uncomfortable to everyone around me.
There's nowhere to hide.
And then I just
right now.
swing in with like a lot of pep in my step afterwards. Yeah.
I thought you were trying to say that nobody has asked you about this book on your book tour, which would be unfortunate
Totally
for sure.
stuff. Yeah.
I only ask because you switch into the exact same mode I switch when somebody asks me a question and just like, this book is an exploration of...
Is that what it sounded like?
No,
Oh,
you
God.
sounded great. It is an incredibly beautiful book. It is organized by these specific trips and occasions. It's a bunch of picnics in there, really.
It is a full picnic book. Yes. Everything is eaten outside. There's not a single photo taken inside in the book.
And this recipe for Onboard Oreos was from what trip were you doing?
We did a sail from Ventura to the Channel Islands, which was like absolutely magical. I've spent a lot of time on the ocean, on boats. This was something otherworldly because you're out there and you're alone, and it is like very much makes you feel tiny and small. And also cooking in a galley is really fun. I don't know if you guys have ever done that before.
I get seasick in a bathtub, man. I can't be cooking in a galley.
Put the scopolamine patch on and go for it.
I'll put the bands, the patches, the Dramamine, the whole thing, man. I'm still gonna throw up everywhere. It is. I love the ocean. I spend time in the ocean, but like boats, I can't do. So, Scott, we first met when you were at Saison.
Yes.
And then as soon as you opened Dad's in Half Moon Bay, I followed you as quickly as I could to go eat there. It's incredible. I have no doubt in my mind that you make incredibly delicious food. I've experienced it firsthand. I will be honest with you. You said you wanted to make these onboard Oreos for today's picnic episode, and I was skeptical. I am not
He's really turning it around.
a religious man, but if I had to choose a god, Oreos would be right up there among my top choices. I really enjoy an Oreo cookie, and I really disagree with people who take certain foods that are perfect. Ketchup. Perfect. I don't need you to make ketchup.
Don't ever make ketchup.
Don't make ketchup.
Don't do that.
Heinz does a great job. I saw your Onboard Oreos in the book. Again, Coastal, beautiful book. Everybody should buy it. As did some of my growing more and more jaded and pessimistic producers, my young producers. And they thought, you can't make an Oreo.
Not a chance.
They thought, it's just going to be a whoopie pie. This clown is going to make a whoopie pie and pretend it's an Oreo.
I'm a clown now.
Their words, not mine.
Are you sure you want to come back?
I wouldn't be getting this negative if I weren't going to bring us back out of here. Spoiler alert, before you talk about this recipe, I have my notes here. I have my 3 positive notes on your Oreos. All 3 of them were, I was wrong, so wrong. How could I be so wrong? These are not whoopie pies. I just want to put it out there. They are the furthest thing from whoopie pie, a food that I do not enjoy. They look like a big, soft whoopie pie. They are crispity, crunchity, incredibly delicious. I'm spoiling it. Talk to us about how you make this.
Thank you.
I want to drag you real low. I wanted to make it
horrid inside.
I called you a clown.
Yeah, there was a lot of words.
I accused you of being a whoopie pie maker.
Yeah.
And then I brought you back up.
Do you beat everyone down on their first time like this
Try
and then
to.
invite them back.
Not just, if you ask Mandy, not just the first
It's
time.
not just the first time.
Oh, it's just a
It's all of
constant
the
lashing.
time.
Understood.
That's why you
Okay.
have to come guarded.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do, in fact, know how to cook things sometimes.
Well, I know that. That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
knew you could make. I didn't trust you
Why?
for that reason, the ketchup reason.
The ketchup reason. But I mean, but you trusted me when I was at Cezanne. You trusted me a lot, actually.
Well, we were inside then.
In your comfort zone.
We were right in my comfort zone.
There's DRC. Yeah, everything. Super trustworthy space. No, I agree with you. Some things you should not make at home. I totally agree with that. And ketchup is one of those things. I personally think you shouldn't even eat ketchup, honestly. I hear no one say anything, so there's clearly no one agrees with me.
I love ketchup so much. Why?
gross.
I'm like 87% ketchup. I don't know what you're talking about.
horrifying.
It's
Because
savory
it's-
Hershey syrup. It's great.
That's what I mean. It is not what it says that it is, and it's scary.
We
Still
do
delicious.
feel, we understand him now.
You could
more
go-
and more.
It all comes back to the same. I swear there is
Show
something.
up honestly, ketchup.
You
Yeah.
don't like things pretending to be something else.
You could put ketchup on vanilla ice cream. It's so sweet. It's
You must
disgusting.
hate Halloween with all these people in costumes just pretending to be something
I
else.
do not participate in Halloween. I am inside. Lights are off. There's no
picnics.
candy.
Not a picnic to
I
be
serve
found.
raisins.
So this, one of the reasons not to make ketchup, in addition to it just being gross when you try to make it, is the juice is not worth the squeeze. It's the effort
yeah.
is not there. These are pretty simple.
They're so simple. It's so easy to make a biscuity cookie. You know what I mean? It's like mostly flour, it's mostly butter, barely held together by flour and a single egg. And it comes together like, brrr. I made this maybe 20 minutes before I got here at your guys' kitchen. And it's very simple. It's super easy. I also think that like all of our cooking should be pared down to be super easy. So yeah, it's a very simple execution. And this one is juice worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? Because I put black sesame in this, but you can do anything you want inside the filling. And then you don't have to wait for Oreos to drop their next weird collaboration with Post Malone or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Be a musician, Post Malone.
do
Stop
your
running
own.
cookies.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's customizable. It's super simple, and it's a foundational recipe that you can just do anything with. So I really enjoy cooking like that.
And then you give a rationale in the book for why make these, which is they can be twice as big as a regular Oreo.
100%. Yeah, and that's the other issue with like snacking. Like what you guys were saying, the you have to search for the chip that has the perfect soy on it.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. They should all be equally seasoned, and you should be able to eat it in the dark, and everything should be as enjoyable as its other thing.
I don't disagree with that, but the chances of it being equal is like 0%.
He said
How
make
long?
your own soy chip.
That's what I'm saying. What is it? It's a tortilla with some spray?
Probably.
Get some spray. I mean, you know what I mean? Right?
But it's so fun to hunt it. It's like finding the toy in the Cracker Jack, you know? It's like you just find that one perfect one. It's fun.
Really?
Yeah.
You
It
have
is
I like
true.
that.
Yeah.
Scott, you have the what you just said. I'm going to try to explain this. What you just said about it's just some spray and a tortilla chip, just spray it and make it perfect. To me is the summary of everything you do now, but also if anybody had never ate at Cezanne when you were there, like that's the whole mentality of Cezanne. Why shouldn't you just do this the exact right way?
For sure. Yeah. And so okay, I guess that's my thing with like mass production, like it should be nailed. it's not like, like a car comes off of the production line. It's not like one tire's bigger than the other one and then you figure it out as you go, right? Like there's no reason, given the technology, that it shouldn't be absolutely perfect every time. And if you can make it perfect, then you should.
I think now that we're bringing automobile production back to the United States, we can probably expect a situation. This tire's bigger than the other one. Yeah, whatever. It's a habit chip. Don't worry about it. Before we get into the feedback here, I do want to drag you down one more time.
Yeah, for sure.
For a small thing.
Thank you.
Guard yourself.
Again,
I'm here.
Keeping in mind, absolutely delicious. So it is a crispy biscuit, and then what you describe in the book as pastry cream is the filling. You and I both know this isn't pastry cream.
It's not. No.
That is a little chef hoodwinking, telling people that it is pastry cream.
Yeah.
What is the filling actually?
I mean, you could put this cream into a pastry, which makes it pastry cream, truly.
Sure.
The filling is 98% butter with 2% powdered sugar. And some black sesame powder in there.
Yeah, it is outrageously delicious. And I'm only joking because what the hell do you think is in an Oreo cookie other than just hydrogenated fat and sugar? Like
Exactly.
that's all.
Yeah, weird soybean oils and like lecithin and stuff like that.
At least
Like,
this is butter. Like this
you
is,
just know what it is.
Yeah, it's
not hiding.
It is delightful. Okay, let's get
It's hiding
into.
under the name pastry cream.
That's right. See, he's pretending that it's pastry cream.
It's a sneaky word, man. Pastry cream.
What a jerk.
We are all hypocrites.
Listen, not me.
No, not you. You're perfect.
Let's get into some of the feedback here. First up, Marc's feedback on Scott's Oreos. Texture was spot on. Cookie crumb was nice and tender, so the filling didn't spill out. What do you mean by that?
I feel like a lot of people will try to make an Oreo and you bite into it, the cookie's too hard and it just spills out. It had like a nice tender crumb, so like you bit into it, you got a equal mix of the filling and the cookie. It was great.
I think that's right. I think
Structural integrity.
Yeah, no. I mean, an Oreo cookie, however you eat it, whether you're gonna do do any of you take the Oreo apart and eat the inside? Nobody does that, right? That's
Not anymore.
People do that.
But we're adults here. We're adults here. Nobody's just eating that. Good balance of sweet and salty.
Yep.
Looked great.
Looks great.
You thought maybe the cookie itself lacked some of the cocoa of an Oreo.
If I'm going to think about an Oreo, it's like really pronounced cocoa flavor, really like dark that flavor.
Dense.
And that has, it's different. It's not that it's bad, but when I think about that, and then also what I thought about, which I didn't, the size, I was like, man, if they were smaller, I'd eat like 6 of them. Whereas like eating one bigger one, you're like, should I go back for another one? But if they were smaller, I'd just be like,
Poppable.
Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting because I didn't think about that. I do enjoy how big this was. I did encounter a thing. I was thinking about it 15 seconds ago as we were talking about this. I was thinking to myself, can I have another one after this?
see, that's the same thing I thought. I was like, man, I'd like a half of another
I don't know
one.
if I could eat another one after this.
You should just try to figure that out. Can I say something about the cocoa powder? It calls for Dutch processed cocoa powder in the recipe, and the cocoa powder that I was given in your kitchen was not that. So I did the best that I could with what I had. No, but I totally agree with you. It should be like black as night, and like almost like abrasingly cocoa. Yeah. But however, I will say this. The kitchen of which I did bake those in was absolutely beautiful. So what I like to do is knock people down and bring them back up. It was a gorgeous place to be, and I had a really incredible time.
My medicine tastes awful. It tastes terrible. Okay, let's move into Mandy's feedback on Scott's Oreos. Light.
Is that all you wrote?
Light in weight? Is that what you're referring to? It just physically felt light?
I think it was like a lighter than an Oreo. Oreos to me feel a little bit heavy because it is hydrogenated oil and it feels like you have that film on your tongue. There's all kinds of like residual sugar that just hangs in your mouth. But this
That's how you know you ate one.
this didn't have that. It was much lighter. Is that all I wrote?
No, I was just giving you an opportunity to elaborate on light sweet, but not too sugary sweet.
Yeah, that is the same basic idea.
Easy to bring for any picnic. Is that because it's so light?
Yeah, maybe. Very packable, transportable.
Criticisms, I will eat too many.
Yes.
You found these better than store-bought by 1,000%.
Yes.
You were wondering if you've made any other flavors.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to do miso in there sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, like a white miso goes
Playing
in
with
really
that savory
nicely.
sweet, yeah.
Or like fire in any of that freeze-dried fruit, like raspberry, strawberry, blueberry. Knock that in there, bada bing. You're home.
Bada
You're
bing.
home every day.
Blueberry butter.
Blueberry butter, baby. Who doesn't want that?
I thought the filling itself looks beautiful. Those same jaded producers who called you a clown were also very excited because it looks almost like a cookies and cream filling inside of your cookie. It wasn't. I don't know if you guys disagree. I didn't feel it was super sesame flavor pronounced.
I didn't even taste the sesame.
But it was beautiful.
It's a whisper's kiss of sesame.
It was a whisper. It was a whisper's kiss of sesame. The follow up to my memoir. All right, that is it for our recipe reports today. I'm now going to give everybody one last chance to make a closing argument for their dish as the picnic dish of the summer. Closing arguments. I'm going to come back to you, Marc. It's picnic season, baby.
Picnic season, enjoying the sun, relaxing. You need something scoop and poopable. Oh, sorry, poop and scoopable. You want to make something a little bit different than your average, but not too far off. Make some Coronation Chicken Salad. People will love it.
Sweating.
I am sweating.
Heavy.
I just so badly need just a meme of you saying, picnic season, you're relaxing, you need something poop and scoopable. Listen, who can argue with that? Mandy, it's picnic season, relaxing. Why do I need a Fattoush salad from Feel Good Foodie or your interpretation of that?
I think every picnic deserves a really light, fresh salad. This one was really easy to make, and it was, it's. I actually don't think that I should win this one. I'm thinking about like who wins a picnic, not the salad. Never the salad guy. But okay, but this one is it's satisfying. It's super satisfying.
Right. You can't really be on the stand in court and say, I'm guilty, but no, wait. It's okay.
It's satisfying. It's satisfying. It's a satisfying dish. It's just one of those things that like everyone's going to enjoy the salad, but nobody's going to leave and go home and be like, oh, my favorite thing that I had today was that lentil Fattoush salad.
Unless it's a curry chicken salad.
It's not.
I can't believe she didn't bring the chips this time. Chips today.
Yeah, why didn't she bring chips?
And finally, Scott Clark, we're picnicking. Why should we be making onboard Oreos from Coastal?
From Coastal, 130 recipes from a California road trip. I'm going to take the high road here. I think that all three dishes came together as a really beautiful picnic, and I think you should incorporate every single one of these recipes into your next outing outdoors, as well as a 6-quart of duck pho. In a tent in the rain.
The diplomat.
Covered in ticks. Welcome to the great outdoors.
I've heard everybody's arguments, some convincing, some not so much. When we come back, we will conclude our picnic with judgment and the awarding of a winner. We are back for the thrilling conclusion of our picnic episode. Before I can announce a winner, I've got to give you your to-go orders. 3 pieces of takeaway for a great picnic dish. First of all, a good picnic dish takes into consideration transportation and mostly serving at room temperature, although some people want to convince me that you should bring a crock pot on your picnic. Second, The scoop and poopability, the poop and scoopability of your dish is something to really consider. And by poop and scoopability, I mean the ease with which you can serve this. A picnic is a chance for everybody to be hanging out. You don't want to be there fussing over something. And finally, this might just negate everything I just said, but I'm going to make Scott's decree our third piece of takeaway. Anything can be a picnic food.
Yes.
Just depends on what you're willing to schlep out into the woods and how hot you want your backpack to be. Now, we've arrived at the moment of picnicking that everybody looks forward to. Picking a winner, judging one another. Before we got started, everybody tasted everything. Everybody scored everything. And I have one averaged out deliciousness score for each dish. My producers, 3 amateur cooks over in the booth here, have each been listening in. They haven't gotten to taste a gosh darn thing, but they have been scoring which recipe they are most likely to pursue in their free time when they're having all their picnics. And finally, I'm adding a score for creativity and thoughtfulness with which my 3 friends here approach the task of coming up with a picnic recipe, all for a total possible score of 15. Without further ado, in the deliciousness category. A real nail biter here, but we have a clear winner for deliciousness, and today's deliciousness winner was Marc Johnson with his Coronation Chicken Salad. High marks for deliciousness, Marc. The producers listening in intently there, thinking about their next day off, at which they're going to have a picnic, chose none other than the Onboard Oreos as the recipe they were most likely to pursue themselves. And finally, for thoughtfulness, while I may disagree with him, I thought the fact that you wrote an entire book about this subject, basically, and the merits of eating outdoors and having picnics, whether or not you're on a road trip around California, I'm going to give thoughtfulness to Scott. The winner of today's episode of Recipe Club Picnic Edition.
Clearly the salad.
I'm trying to think if it's mathematically possible to lose all 3 categories and win the game. I don't think that is possible. Maybe it's possible.
I've never been good at math, but I can't get there.
It's mathematically possible, but did not happen today. Today's winner with a score of 12.85 is Scott Clark for your Onboard Oreos. Yeah. Congratulations. You can cook after all.
I did it.
You have to put it in the book. Now, like a little stamp recipe club.
If you don't want to just hold on to that feeling in your heart, we're providing you with a gift, a prize in which you can pack that feeling and possibly, I don't know if it's big enough.
Is it loser pan?
6 quarts of duck pho would probably fit in your bespoke, one-of-a-kind, custom-made by my aforementioned producers, Recipe Club branded picnic basket. It's a picnic basket.
Holy smokes, guys. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Losers!
Hey!
Loser fans.
My dear loser friends, you are, of course, not going home empty-handed. Courtesy of the official cookware sponsor of Recipe Club, Meyer, you are each receiving a piece of IO collection cookware. This is not loser pans, Mandy. This is the good stuff. We use this all the time.
I'm sorry. I do use this all the time. Let me reiterate that I love these pans very much. I did not mean to give them that.
Too late, Mandy. The damage has been done.
Even the losers are winners.
Thank you to Marc, Mandy, and Scott for joining me on this episode of Recipe Club. Thank you all for watching and listening. Recipe Club is brought to you by Major Domo Media and The Ringer. Make sure you visit majordomo.com to join the Discord to dispute the results of this episode or agree with them and to find all of the aforementioned recipes. We will talk to you all very soon. Hey, everybody. Chris Ying here, your loyal Recipe Club host. Before I let you go after this episode, I'm sitting here with one of our producers, Molly. We were just reminiscing over the past season. It has been 21 exceptional episodes, and I think it's been a hell of a season so far. We've met some new friends. We've opened up the club to some new faces and voices, but I want to open it up even more. expand the Recipe Club universe, if you will, to be something that you can be more involved in and interact with. Obviously, if you've been listening to this show or the Dave Chang show, you're seeing some of the directions that we're moving in. More video content so you can see our beautiful, other people's beautiful faces and mine. More shoulder content. As always, we're trying to show all of the cooking, show all of our mistakes, show the whole entire process, be as in the moment as we can. I've been doing live shows here in Los Angeles at Dynasty Typewriter with Bobby Moynihan and some of our comedian friends. It's all in service of this show. The point is, I love Recipe Club so much, and it was born during the pandemic from a very real place when Chang and I were cooking every single meal at home, and we saw a lot of people doing the same. And it's hard to recapture that exact feeling of everybody sort of feeling connected at that moment. And as horrible and isolating as the pandemic was, this was a bright spot for me, just being able to connect with people. And I want to take that forward and grow that feeling and try to expand Recipe Club to do our best to draw everybody together, everybody who shares these same issues of what should I cook, how should I cook it, what's the best way to bring more deliciousness into my life and be entertained and happy and laugh a lot along the way. So without getting too sentimental about things, we are going to take a short break, not a typical Recipe Club break, an unending years-long break. This is a real, actual hiatus. We are going to come back in a few months with a new run of episodes where we're going to be trying some more stuff out. I know we always do this. I know we change things up, but this time we're not just changing things for the sake of everything. We're going to bring out so the best parts of this, more video, more cooking, maybe some new shows, some new games to play, some new people, new ways for you, the real heart and soul of Recipe Club, to take part in the entire thing. In the meantime, you can obviously keep up with us on social media, on Instagram. We are not a X, formerly known as Twitter, group so far, but you got something to say to me? Say it to my face. I am, as always, I'm in the Discord, which you can join at majordomomedia.com. I'm in that Recipe Club chat all the time, trying to talk to you all. So come talk to me. Come talk to all of us in the Discord and sign up for our YouTube. I know it's a little bit sparse at the moment, but that's where tons and tons of the things that we're going to be trying out and experimenting and growing are going to be taking place. And a huge part of that comes down to you all subscribing to our channels. And I will say this, I am here before you on bended knee, hat in hand, asking you to spread the word about our show. Tell people you like it, even if you don't. My son recently came home from preschool with a note from his teachers where they had asked him, Keith, how do you show love? And his answer was, tell people you like their food even when you don't. So I hope that you will show love for this show in that way. Thank you so much for listening all season long. I've loved this season. I love every season we've done. My favorite season, as always, is the one that is coming next. So more for me very soon. And thank you to all of you. Thank you to our whole crew and everybody who has been on the show this season. It has been a ton of fun. It's been very, very delicious. And we will talk to you all very, very soon.